This is Phillies Post-Game Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance, along with Ricky Vitalico and Ruben Amaro Jr., John Kruk to come. I'm Michael Barkan. 11-6, Phillies win it. They're 2-0, their first series win of the season. And you know what, Ricky and Ruben, this is a real strong win. You know why? Because Washington stinks, and you've got to get a win like this. There have been plenty of years where all of a sudden either they lose it or we would have seen an 11-10 win when they would have let them all the way back, and we would have been biting our nails the whole way. Bullpen stinks for Washington. They don't get the hits, and I thought this was in that way strong, Ricky Bo.
Here's the thing about the bullpen for the Nationals. They're not good to start with. They look like they're nervous. Every one of them that steps out there looks like, if I throw this over the plate, I'm going to get belted around the ballpark. So instead, what do? They beat around the bush the whole time. You keep beating around the bush against the Phillies and walking Phillies and putting guys on, because I believe it's, 6 today, 6 last night. That's 12 walks. Out of the bullpen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Joe, just out of the Nationals bullpen. You continue to do that, and then you leave that one ball out over the plate, you're going to get yourself beat down. And that's exactly what the Phillies did. I do not give any credit to the Nationals at all, but I do give credit to the Phillies and the way they pick apart the relievers a little bit, because they know that these relievers don't want to come to them, so they're going to be patient. They were patient with them. Finally, Schwarber gets one out over the plate. He knocks one out of the yard. Things are looking good.
Ruben, which part of this game stood out most to you?
Well, obviously, it was the bottom of the lineup for me. I mean, these guys really swung the bat extremely well. I really liked the at-bats they put together, Stott, Marsh. I think the numbers were pretty astounding. Yeah. 7 for 12, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 4 extra base hits from the 7, 8, 9 guys. And just a couple what you guys said about, like, the walks. Yes, the bullpen is not very good for the Nats. That said, they put together some really good at-bats. A big difference between the 19 strikeouts from yesterday and certainly the 6 strikeouts from today. They had more walks than strikeouts. I think it was 8-6. And so it's nice to see these guys put together good quality at-bats. They are major league pitchers, and they are having major league at-bats against them. So you got to give them credit for that. And I like what I see so far.
Let's go down south to Washington, D.C. Here's our crossover presented by our friends at Chapman Auto Stores. Here's our friend John Kruk. John, we've talked about the hitting. We've talked about the way they withstood today. Talk a little bit about Jesus Luzardo. Gets his first win as a Philly. 5 really strong innings, giving up 2 runs, 11 strikeouts, and just 2 walks. What'd you make of his outing?
Well, it's everything we expected once we got him. As soon as you figured out he was healthy, you knew that he was capable of what he did today. And moving forward, it should get better. His velocity was really good. He maintained it through 5 innings. We talked to Bryson Stott after the game. Bryson said that changeup looked filthy from second base. So, he's a power pitcher. All of our starters, except Aaron Nola, you'd have to think, okay, we have 4 power pitchers and then a guy who just knows how to pitch. So, yeah, it was exciting to watch him pitch. I was looking forward to it. As soon as we found out we got him in a trade, I was looking forward to it. And, again, it's one of these guys that's on a one-year contract. So, I think there's something beneficial to that to have on your roster.
Talk about how important Edmundo Sosa is to this ball club. I mean, he picks up where Trey leaves off, and he's one of the best utility players in the game for me.
I agree. I love him, and when you watch him bouncing around the clubhouse and always with a smile on his face, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet in your life. Always says hello, and he's one of those guys, and you never hear him complain if he has 2 or 3 hits and he doesn't play for 5 games. He never complains. It's whenever you need me, I'll be here. He stays prepared. He works really hard at multiple positions. When you watch him take grounders, he's taking grounders at second. He's taking grounders at short and third. Today he was in the outfield, and when they figured out that Trey couldn't go because of the back spasms, he came in and took some grounders at short too. So, Ruben, you don't win with just your everyday 9. It takes a village, right, to win and to get to the postseason. And you can't ask for a better guy coming off the bench for the Phillies and getting spot starts whenever needed than Edmundo Sosa.
Johnny's batting 500 on the season. Do you think he can keep this up the whole way?
If anyone can, I'd say it'd be Edmundo. Yeah,
I think you're right, John.
I'm going with it. What the hell?
There you go. John Kruk said it. But in all seriousness, Johnny, when you got Turner being scratched at the last second and the lineup needs to be reworked, and you got Bohm go from cleanup to 2, you got Sosa coming in, guys are moving around. How does that affect approach, if at all, as a hitter?
I don't think it does. You look at yesterday. We already knew Schwarber was going to lead off today. And like you said, Bohm was scheduled to hit 4th with Trey hitting 2nd. But, the great thing about this lineup is you can mix and match the first, 5 or 6 guys. I was sitting up here thinking, okay, if Trey got scratched, who's going to hit 2nd? Because I do like Alec hitting behind Bryce. But who's going to hit 2nd? I thought, JT has a great ability to hit the ball the other way. If Kyle gets on, hopefully he stays on once he gets there. And, JT can hit the ball behind him and get a 1st to 3rd going for Bryce and Alec. So, yeah, it's special. They have a good mix and match lineup, and I don't think these guys care where they hit.
Hey, Johnny, would you have had an error at all in your career playing nowadays?
Yeah, because I missed a couple slow rollers.
Well, that doesn't matter. Those are doubles here.
Yeah, they probably just kept them at singles. It's unbelievable. Anything hit hard now, if it's not caught by someone, it's a hit. And I said it on the air. I mean, Tony Gwynn would have hit 5,000, and Wade Boggs would have hit 5,000, and Pete Rose would have hit 5. I mean, it's just, look, you're big leaguers. Yeah, the ball's hit hard. But aren't you paid to catch the dang thing?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it. I don't get how they keep score now. I don't, it's too many smart people that have no clue if a ball should be caught or not. And the guy here did great. He called them both errors. Then I guess he was told to change them. I don't know.
Awful.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But we keep pressing on. John, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much for the time.
Yes, you will.
As always, John
All
Kruk
right.
joining us in the booth. Here's the box score of today's game. Kyle Schwarber, 2 for 5, had the home run, his 2nd in 2 games, 3 runs batted in. Alec Bohm, 2 for 5. And then, as Ruben had mentioned, look at 7, 8, 9. Bryson Stott, Brandon Marsh, Edmundo Sosa. Those are insane numbers. 7 for 12, 2 home runs, 6 runs batted in, 6 runs scored, and 4 extra base hits.
And those are wild numbers. But I mean, you know what, Bryson, when you think about his day, you think about all their days. They just kind of had the pitchers come to them, and they were patient. It wasn't like they were swinging at everything up there today. It was one of those things where I'm going to get my pitch. I'm going to wait for something to drive. And you look at Marsh, he homers, and you look at Stott, he homers. I just think those guys were just, kind of feeding off of each other. That's what it looked like.
Really liked the approach that Brandon Marsh had today. He was really good. Nice, easy swings. He's having quality at bats. I know he punched out a few times. I had a tough time with the Shadows yesterday, or the last game, but certainly bounced back and had quality at bats today. Those two guys, Stott and Marsh, are getting an opportunity to play against lefties, against righties, and they'll, it's a big year for both those guys. Hopefully they can come through for the Phils this year.
6 big ones, baby. 7-2 Phillies right there, and that's all they need. You get 7 runs, you've got it. They would have won it 7-6, and they ended up winning it 11-6 and have scored, my goodness, 18-9 in 2 games, outscored the Washington Nationals. Here's Rob Thomson post-game on the win.
It's a pretty good offensive showing today. Just what are your thoughts overall on the offense?
Yeah, great at bats. Back-to-back days where you get the pitch count of the opposite team in the 190s. And that's production, and it's controlling the strike zone. We did it very well for those 2 games.
What did you make of the day Stott had?
Offensively?
Yeah,
it was a good day. He's swinging the bat well, and it looks like he was a couple of years ago. He's seeing a lot of pitches, not getting out of the zone, using the entire field, driving the ball in the gaps. And it was good. Marsh had a great day. Bottom 4 guys in the lineup were on base 13, 14 times. I don't know what it was, but they were on base a lot. So.
How important is patience at the bottom of the order? It seemed like it kind of stoked both rallies.
Yeah, it was good. You know, Nick got it going twice with walks, and you know, to turn the lineup over and you get to Schwarber and Turner when he's healthy, and Harper and those guys, it's huge for us.
What happened with Trey?
Just fielding the ground ball. His back just locked up. He just had a little spasm, and we'll check him out tomorrow. Same thing with JT. Check him out tomorrow. I'm not going to put them in any type of danger at this point.
Can you just foul the ball off his foot?
Yeah. X-rays negative.
Okay. And with Trey, is it, you just think it's a day-to-day thing, or you're not sure yet? Could be more.
Yeah, we'll know more tomorrow, but I'm going to be really careful.
And then Luzardo, the velocity, the sweeper, like, what'd you think of his first one?
Right. You know, threw strikes, went after people. The only bad pitch he made probably was the change up to Ruiz. He just missed. He just kind of yanked it down and in to a sweet spot. And he golfed it out of there, but I thought he was really good.
He came to camp not throwing the sweeper, and then at that first start, he said, I don't even know if this is going to be something I throw in the season. And he threw 21 today. Yeah. Did you have a feeling that was something he was going to lean on in the first start, or just throw it a lot maybe this season?
I think if he's got it going, he's going to throw it. Okay. Yeah. And if not, then it's going to be something else.
Can you explain like what makes that pitch so effective?
It's just, you know, you can back foot right-handed hitters. It keeps lefties off his fastball. Yeah, it's just a good pitch. It's got some depth to it, and I thought the changeup had some depth to it. The only bad one, like I said, was to Ruiz.
That tells me that he's hiding his pitches very well when he's throwing that breaking stuff into the right-handers, especially.
Yeah,
95 pitches.
Pretty aggressive with his strike to ball ratio. I thought that sweeper. It's a different shape than what it used to be, his slider.
Slow.
And I think one of the things that, it is a little bit slower. It's got a little bit more break. And that's one of the things I think that Caleb Cotham, the pitching coach, does a really good job of. I think he has the ability to help these guys with different shapes of pitches to give them a different look. And he certainly did that with Luzardo. That breaking ball is different. It looks like somewhere between a curve and a slider. I like to call him a slurve. The others like to call it a sweeper. But I really like that pitch, and it looks like he's more and more confident with it. Threw it a lot of times.
We used to call it a mistake.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. It was a mistake. You got on the side of your breaking ball, and it kind of just swerved across.
You want to go over the top. Ferris wheel, not a merry-go-round.
You want to go
Come
over
on.
well, you're always going over the top of it. You get on the side of it.
Wow,
you got to stay on top of the ball.
Oh, yeah. Just like Uncle Ricky taught me. You know.
That's right.
Let's hear from today's starter, today's winner, Jesús Luzardo in the clubhouse.
Kind of fired up there coming off the mound after that last inning. Just like what was going through your mind there after you finished that one off?
I mean, I knew it was my last inning. Topper had mentioned it before, and just excited to, finish off strong. After the mistake in the second, just feel like I got in a groove at the end.
For a pitch that you kind of just started messing with in spring, like that sweeper looks really good. Did you expect to throw that many of them today?
No, I mean, it kind of fits in the game plan, but we go more based off how it's feeling. Today it felt really good, so we lean on it a little bit more.
And not that you need any more validation, but it was like 9 months ago the last start was here. Given how well you threw today, how does that feel?
It felt great. I mean, the last time I got off the mound in season was facing them, but I was not myself. So I'm glad to be back out there and healthy and feeling good again.
Would you watch like at anything from that start? Or no?
I mean, last year I watched it a good bit, but going back to watching it like a week ago, it just wasn't me at all. So I'm glad to get back to feeling like myself.
When the fastball's sitting 97, like, do you feel like that's something, you kind of held it for 5 innings today, it's not even April, it's March, like, do you feel like this is something that you can maintain?
Yeah, definitely. It was a focus all off season, the health and maintaining the strength, but it's something I've done in the past that, when I'm healthy, that's about where my velo is at. So, it's not all about velo for me, but it's definitely a good measure of how I'm feeling.
Do you often go back and rewatch a start like that, or just because it was the last one, or because you knew that you were pitching here? Was there a reason why you went and watched that again?
I mean, just to watch, previous at-bats against certain hitters. But like I said, I mean, I didn't get much value out of it. It's just a completely different pitcher. So, yeah, I mean, I always like to go back and see, maybe scout a little bit. But and that one in specific didn't do much for me.
If the sweeper can be effective like this, maybe not throw as many in every start, but what does it kind of bring to your repertoire, or how can it really help you, do you think, this season, having that extra?
I think it's just another way of getting guys out. Different swing types, different profiles for a hitter. It just fits into the game plan a little bit in different ways that I would use my normal slider. So just finding different avenues of getting guys out and exploring different ways. Especially JT did a great job back there of we're all over the place, up, down, in and out, and I think that was also credit to him keeping them off balance.
Did it feel good in the bullpen? Did it feel good coming out of your hand? Maybe the first inning where you're like, let's keep throwing this, or how did that work?
I mean, just throughout spring, just using it in games where necessarily the outing might have not gone great, but just we were pushing it a certain way or trying to use it in certain counts where we might find ourselves using it in season, and I think it paid off heavily today.
What'd you think of the damage that this Phillies offense has been able to do late in games in these first two?
I mean, it's been amazing. Obviously, we have a great lineup and a lot of talent, a lot of experience. So there's never a doubt, and I think that any team that faces us just has to be prepared for a dogfight 1 through 9. And I think that's what we bring to the table is just there's no quit, till the end of the game.
Peruvian-born Venezuelan-American Jesus Luzardo grew up in South Florida. How do you like that? Nice outing for the new Phillies starter.